All right, let's continue this Next.js app router tutorial. So we last left off at localhost 3000, and I'm going to go to the dashboard page. Okay, and let's bring that back over there. And we're going to go to chapter 5 now, navigating between pages. So in the previous chapter, you created the dashboard layout in pages. Now let's add some links to allow users to navigate between the pages. So we're going to learn the next link component, the use path name hook, and just how navigation in general works in Next.js. So why optimize navigation? To link between pages, you traditionally use the anchor tag HTML element, and that's currently how we are set up, right? So let's go into the side navigation right here. And if we go into our nav links component, we see that we are using anchor tags for our links. And here's what they want us to notice. Pay attention to up here on the top of the browser as I switch through the links. Invoices, customers. You can see at the tab here that we are doing a full page load every time. And right, there's a full page refresh on each page navigation. So this brings up the link component. In Next.js, you can do the link component to do client-side navigation. Basically, we mimic the browser API to do client-sided routing. And so let's import in our nav links link from next link, and we're just going to replace the anchor tag. The props will all be the same. Okay, we'll save it here, and let's see here. As you can see here, the link component is similar to the A tag, right? Save your changes and see if it works. Okay, so let's just check out tab. So pay attention to the tab up here again and the refresh. Let's see what happens. All right, we are changing pages, but there's no full page refresh. It looks very smooth and quick, and that's a really great user experience. But you still have access to the browser API. Like I can go to invoices and press back, and I'm still back at the dashboard. Okay, code splitting and prefetching. To improve navigation, Next.js automatically code splits your application by route segments. Okay, splitting code means that pages become isolated. If a certain page throws an error, the rest of the application will still work. In production, whenever a link component appears in the browser's viewport, aka when it's shown on the page, Next.js automatically prefetches the code for the linked route in the background. Right, so that's faster page changes. By the time the user clicks the link, the code for the destination page will already be loaded in the background, which makes the page transition near instant. And you can learn more. Quiz time. What does Next.js do when a link component appears in the browser's viewport? It prefetches the code for the linked route. Cool. Pattern, showing active links. So a common UI pattern is to show active links. So we see here that we are on the dashboard page, but how do we know? Besides looking at the URL. We're on the invoices page, but how do we know besides looking at the URL? So let's have a style here to indicate when we are on the active link, the current link we're on. And so we can use this hook called use path name. So let's import that. Import use path name. It's coming from next navigation. And because this is a hook, we have to turn this component into a client component, because it runs on the client, and we need access to the window, the browser window. So does it say anything more about that? Right. So every component by default, Next.js is a server component. So it runs on the server. So if we want to use stuff like hooks or DOM manipulation or functions or access to window, then we have to turn the component to a client component so that we can work with the client. So because we're using this hook, we have to use client. So whenever you're using a hook, use state, use effect, etc., you have to turn it to a use client. So we can use the hook down here in the function. Const path name is equal to use path name. And let me turn off Copilot again. Let's see here. Okay. And path name will return the path name. So it should return /dashboard/invoices if we're on this page. And now we're going to import CLSX. Right? Remember, this was the utility tool that we used to have dynamic class names. So we're going to change this into a template. No, we're going to bring CLSX here, and we're going to wrap all these class names in CLSX. Okay, and then at the end here, we will open up a comma followed by a object, and in the object we'll have our dynamic class, which will be bg sky 100 text blue 600 if the path name is equal to the link.href. So if the link is equal to the current path name, then give these styles: a background of sky blue and a text of blue 600. Let's check it out. So we have the background of sky 100, text blue. We're on the home page. That's the active link. Customer, that's the active link. So good user experience here and good showcase of the use path name hook, which is really useful. Okay, completed chapter 5.